Alright, hello everybody. My name is Codify here today, and we're going to be ranking the Far Cry games in this video. And this is a rumors and opinions video, a series I haven't done in a very, very long time. So this is going to be on the opinion side of things, and this is a series I plan on bringing back. But anyways, we're going to start off with the Far Cry series in this video. By the way, if you're wondering why it's been a long time since I've uploaded the YouTube video, I'm actually working on a big project for one of these Far Cry games, and I'm really focusing on that and locking in. So bear with me. You might not get as many uploads, but when I do upload this Far Cry video, I'm putting my time, effort. I'm not even done recording it yet. I'm sure you could probably guess what it is. If you have a guess in the comments down below. Anyways, let's get right into the tier list. Alright, so basically I've divided this into 6 categories. We got S tier being the best, all the way down to D being bad, and then simply a category of me never playing it. So we're going to start off with the ones that we haven't played, which was first the original Far Cry, Far Cry 2, and Far Cry Blood Dragon. I have never played any of those yet. One that looks interesting to me that I want to play is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Really want to play that. Otherwise, all these other Far Cries on the list I have played. We're going to rank them from S tier all the way down to D tier. Starting off, we have Far Cry Primal. Now, this game is very different compared to any of the other Far Cry games. There's no guns. It takes place in the caveman era, but it actually, in my opinion, is a very good Far Cry game. Very, very good Far Cry game. It's actually super fun using the bow and arrows, the spears, the clubs. The way they do it, it's still Far Cry style as far as outposts and everything like that goes. Hunting the animals, like the prehistoric animals like the mammoths, is cool, being able to do that. The missions themselves, like fighting the enemies, the combat is way more unique compared to the other Far Cries because of its primal age, its time. And I think it was a genius idea, actually, to go for a Far Cry game in the prehistoric times because it worked. It was either sink or swim, and my god, this game swung. It's not the best Far Cry, but we're going to put it in A tier because it is a very, very good Far Cry game. Next up, we have Far Cry 3. Now, fun little fact, I got most of the trophies for this game and was so close to beating the story on it, and then my save data corrupted, and that made me mad. But anyways, as a game, it was actually super fun. It's like one of the first Far Cries that really opened up more and opened up more exploration and open world and all the outposts and the animals and the guns themselves, like all that, like the typical Far Cry formula really started with Far Cry 3. And also, I don't know about the other two Far Cries that much, but I don't, if I'm not mistaken, I think Far Cry 3 was the one that really started like the main one enemy. Like, you know how Far Cry games have their one main enemy or two main enemies or multiple, just as in like 5. Um, and Far Cry 3 has one of the best main villains in video game history with Vaz. And I think this Far Cry game was very, very fun. Um, just because of its time, and I think overall what keeps it from being S tier is its size. Now, that might not necessarily be helped because of its time and the gen that it was on, but in my opinion, it's not an S tier Far Cry. It is just because it is shorter than the others, and also I didn't get as much experience with it, but I liked the experience I had with it. Next up, we have Far Cry 4, and my god, this was my first Far Cry game I played on Xbox 360. I could not put this down. I randomly picked it up. I was pretty blind to what Far Cry was. This is what got me into Far Cry. This Far Cry right here. When I tell you that this Far Cry is S tier, I mean it. It is an S tier Far Cry game from the exhibitions to the jungle. The jungle, they do have a jungle to be fair in Far Cry 3, but I like the environment way, way better in Far Cry 4. It is crazy in Far Cry 4. And the guns, the weapons, the missions. Spoiler alert, one of the missions is genius in my opinion, where they make you think that you kill the main guy and it's a fake out, and you still get to continue and you still get to play. And the multiple endings, the way you can do it, the little Easter eggs, those are also genius. The hunting for the animals is fun. The grappling in this game is crazy. Um, a lot of the combat is crazy, like the jungle combat with the outposts, and the vehicles are really cool in this game too. Overall, like the open world is peak with Far Cry 4, and I will continue to love Far Cry 4, and it is S tier for me. Next up, we have Far Cry 6. Now, I don't have that much experience with Far Cry 6, but with the experience that I did have, it's a little bit more different than the other ones. It still follows the Far Cry formula, and in my opinion, it's a little different, but it's still fun. I just never finished it, and I think that's partially because I didn't get into it as much as the other ones, and I think that it has huge potential. And I might go back to it and love it, but this one I wasn't stuck on like the other ones, so I'm gonna have to put it in B tier honestly for now. But I will change my answer probably when I go back and actually finish the story and beat it and play through it. But I'm gonna have to put Far Cry 6 on B tier. Next up, we have Far Cry 5, and this is another one that is going straight to S tier. If you don't think Far Cry 5 is S tier, then you are just wrong. Your opinion is wrong, objectively wrong. This is the one I'm making a huge project on. It is a fantastic Far Cry game, completely awesome, start to finish. I have played through this game 4 times. I'm on my fifth playthrough for the project that I'm doing now. Um, and yeah, the fact that there is 4 main antagonists and you have regions and every region has something different is too good. And the only thing that has been a little bit of a pain with my project, this could be a little hint as to what my project is, was the hunting and fishing challenges, which I'm still not done with, because some of the animals are very hard to find. Like the eagles, very hard to find. You'll see my struggle in that part of the video, but um, the guns in this game and overall the story, I love the story in this one. How it's like a cult, and there's a lot of stuff that you can relate to what actually happens in the real world, and this one doesn't seem as fictional as the others. It seems the most real. And what they do with the bliss drug and the fact that the capture party comes and gets you. Also, the villains are just, they're cold, man. They're awesome. Those are the coolest villains in Far Cry history. Joseph Seed, John Seed, Faith Seed, Jacob Seed. Going through all their regions is super cool, and they all have unique things about them which make them stand out. I think it was genius. The Far Cry formula, sorry, really worked in this one, and the map is awesome. As much as it may seem like less maybe fancy in a way, like you don't really need a jungle or all that in Far Cry for this one, because this one it just works with the cornfields, the grass, the animals, the environment, the things that can happen, the chaos that you could randomly find on the road in this game. There's constant chaos everywhere you go. Even if you already liberate a region, you're still gonna find planes in the sky. You're still gonna find convoys on the road. You're still gonna find enemies. You're still gonna find enemies dead on the road, getting attacked by an animal. That happened to me once. This Far Cry S tier. Anyway, last one on the tier list, Far Cry New Dawn, which, if you don't know, is actually not. Well, it's not Far Cry 6, but technically it's the sixth installment, but it's not Far Cry 6. It is a continuation. Moving on, it was a continuation off a 5 storyline, and it actually featured the 2 girls. I forget their names. I hate that I forget their names. This is actually the Far Cry game and my first ever platinum trophy. So this game holds a special place in my heart. And I love the unique weapons in this game. I love the unique weapons in this game, like the finds that you can do, like the makeshift weapons. That's actually super cool. The exhibitions you go on are super fun to go on. The fact that you replay outposts and the whole thing with the ethanol that you have to gain from replaying the outposts. It was a shorter game, but overall, why it stands out is because it's gameplay. And I just think that the gameplay was super fun. The only thing that is again similar to Far Cry 3, this Far Cry very short, very short. But with the story that they were trying to tell and continue off of 5, it didn't really have to be that big. But that's the only thing that kind of hinders this game is that it was really short and it had less content than 5 by far. But I like the monstrosity animals. I thought that was super funny, super cool to go after the monstrosity animals. I can't speak. It's really cool to go after them. The enemies, the environments in general, super cool. And again, it just generally holds a special place in my heart because this was my first ever platinum trophy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Far Cry New Dawn into A tier. This is my complete tier list. Um, let me know what you guys think on this tier list of the
Carter
Far
is a
Cry games.
father, and Jenna is the mother,
Let me know what you guys think of this tier list in the comments down below. And let me know if you want me to keep doing these rumors
and Ash and Beast.
and let me know if you want me to keep continuing to do these rumors and opinion videos. Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.